Hi, everyone. How are you? My name is Dr. David Shin, and I'll be providing just a little bit of lesson on Nearpod today. Today's lesson really is not really just for me to talk to y'all. I would love for this to be something that's more interactive and fun for everybody, so that it's just not just playing in the background while you're watching Netflix. I'm glad you're here with me. My name is David Shin. I'm actually currently a middle school teacher at St. Christopher School. I have two kids, a 7-year-old and a 3-year-old girl, 7-year-old boy and a 3-year-old girl, who keep me very, very, very busy. And I live here in Richmond, and the background behind me is a little picture of Libby Hill, which is a really, really cool place. If you've never been, it's a really great view of the whole city, and it's a great date spot if you're looking for a date spot. So I hope I can be of some help for you. Nearpod is such a household name in education, but you know what? Not a lot of teachers use it, and that's okay. But if you don't know what it is, but I'd love to help out and figure out if there's a way to meet your need, to deliver your lesson in a more interactive way. I don't get paid by Nearpod. I don't have any kind of association with Nearpod. I use it for my presentations, and so I think it'd be cool to get your thoughts on it, good, bad, indifferent, and just kind of make it a collaborative opportunity for us today. So with that said, I'd love to share my screen with you all and just go through this couple of Nearpod slides together. So I'm going to go ahead and share my Chrome, and there we go. And I'm going to start right here. Okay. Can you all see that? It says Nearpod in 20 minutes. All right, so this is going to be pretty quick. So I would love for you to join along in this ride with me for about 20 minutes. So if you would, please head on over to join.nearpod.com on a browser. Any browser will be fine. So if you go to just type in join.nearpod.com. Now with Zoom running, I hope that this doesn't slow down too much, but we'll just work through it, and we'll get it together here. So join.nearpod.com, and it's going to ask you for a little code. So the code for today is EBC57. You can
And they
just
need to put it in under students, right?
That's right. So I'll let you guys go ahead and do that for a minute, and I'll X that out, but the code is up here so that you can see it. All right, so Nearpod in 20 minutes, and here it is. So what is it? It's basically a way to make every lesson interactive, right? So they can provide slides. You can bring your own slides. You can play videos. You can play games on there with questions from your lessons. You can play different activities. So it's really just, I guess you can say that it's kind of like a little bit more advanced version of Google Slide, right? So you can get your slides, you can play your slides through Nearpod, and it will have different activities built in so that you can get the kids engaged, because we really know that engagement happens when you're interacting with things. And so this is a really neat tool that I've been able to use. I'll show you what I think about it. So here we go. These are the 5 goals I have for today to discuss, just 5 little nuggets. One is how you set up. And we'll go through that setup process together. So if you've never set up an account, we can do that right now. And then content. What kind of content can you actually deliver through the website? Games and activities that you can play with your students, and then launching a session, and then generating student reports. So those are 5 little nuggets that we'll go through. And if you have any questions throughout, I'm more than I'm more than capable of listening to you, so please feel free to just chime in. And Dr. Jenkins, right after we kind of go through different content, I would love to invite Dr. Jenkins to kind of talk about Flocabulary, which is a really neat add-on to Nearpod that could really go that extra mile in delivering interactive lessons. So I'm going to go ahead and let Dr. Jenkins take over after number 2. All right. So just to set up, if you've never ever set up an account, I'm going to just kind of baby step it with you so that you have an account. You do not have to, of course. I'm not forcing you. I am not getting paid again by Nearpod by any means. So you don't have, please don't feel like you have to, but it's a neat tool. So go to nearpod.com, click on sign up for a free teacher account. And then you're going to sign up with either a Google account or your school email. That's the easiest way that I found it to work. Just a little single sign-on button, and then you could. I was able to just use my school email. So if you have a VSU email, I'm sure you could just use that as well. And then go to lesson setting, on or off as needed. And then we're going to create your own slides or pick from thousands of lessons already loaded into the Nearpod library, and then filter according to your standards. So here is the main website right here, if you're able to sign in. So on the top right-hand corner, you should see a little word. It says login or sign up for free. You can go ahead and sign up right now, and you can have an account. Very quick and very easy. All right. Any questions on that? Okay. So since we're talking about Nearpod, I made my presentation today in Nearpod. So I thought that would be a neat way for you to experience Nearpod firsthand. So, like what kind of content can you actually put in here? A lot of teachers I found in working together are scared of kind of new tech, right? Because there's a lot of questions, and for veteran teachers, they know what works and they've been doing it for a long time, and it's really hard to, or they may know what works for them, and to introduce something new, well, that has to come from a place of vulnerability, and some people aren't ready for that. So what I say is you can use the exact same slides that you've been using all along. You don't have to make anything new. All right, we're just adding a little bow tie to what you already have, a little hair bow, if you will. All right, so you can use the slides you already have. You can get YouTube videos on there. You can use any kind of web content, such as PHET simulation. If you ladies or gentlemen are science teachers, you've heard of PHET simulation. It's a really neat tool. I'll go through that in just a minute. There's some VR applications on Nearpod that I've never personally used, but it's there, and it's I can show you what you can do with it. And you can use Sway or PDF, just like Word docs, even in PDF form. You can go through those things through Nearpod, or you can upload your own lesson. It could be a PowerPoint. PowerPoint's still around. People still use PowerPoints, and so you can upload those things on here, and it should work seamlessly. So let's just go ahead and hang out and play a little video, right? So this is a video I'm going to play. This teacher plays, and we're going to continue. All right, so here we go. Let's take a look at this.
You can also enhance pre-existing content by uploading your own pre-made PowerPoints, PNGs, and PDFs. You can do so by selecting any PowerPoint, PDF, or PNG from your computer drive, Google Drive, Dropbox, and OneDrive. Once uploaded, now I can Nearpodize my PowerPoint. Nearpodizing simply means that you're adding engaging, interactive features and activities to enhance your pre-made lesson. When done Nearpodizing your pre-existing PowerPoint, make sure to click Save and Exit. Here's my PowerPoint that's now enhanced with all of its Nearpod engaging interactive features and content. Remember, you can also create a lesson in Nearpod within Google Slides. All you have to do is simply select Lesson in Google Slides, and it will walk you through step by step how to create a Nearpod lesson within Google Slides. If you have any further questions, please visit nearpod.com/resources or email us at support@nearpod.com.
All right. So you can play videos through the Nearpod. So that was one example. I thought it would be appropriate for me to show you a Nearpod video or a video talking about Nearpod setup. So that's what I did there. This is actually part of that website called PHET. I'm a science teacher, so I use this quite a bit. So if you're interested in becoming a science teacher or introducing any kind of science content to your students, this might be of interest to you. So this is like an interactive online. So it's just a website, no software to download, and you can heat up the molecules and you can see the temperatures rise. And we talk about states of matter using this kind of interactive. So we talk about the intermolecular forces that join atoms, and the breaking of intermolecular forces that bring those atoms together. You can look at how their different atoms and molecules might actually change the melting point, boiling point, and condensation point. So this is a really neat tool to bring forth in your Nearpod. So I just brought that link in and just dropped it into my Nearpod presentation. So it was able to just make that one PHET activity come up, and students were able to work together through this Nearpod lesson. So it worked very seamlessly. Here's that VR 360 view that's able that you can have access to. This might be something like a Great Barrier Reef 360 picture, but it might be fun to, like that other video was talking about, like maybe even just introducing ourselves or the class with, some places that the kids are excited about visiting, or some places that are very meaningful to them. Have them look those pictures, look at those places, look up the 360 pictures, and then share them with each other. We can kind of rotate and see if there are different things that you'd like to point out about different places that you like to visit, maybe on Thanksgiving, and why it's meaningful to you. So 360 pictures are a great way to kind of give your kids a lot to look at. All right, so games and activities. So I've talked about like Google Slides and PowerPoints and maybe even field trips using 360 pictures. Before we go into games and activities, which can be kind of an added layer on your slides, I'd love to invite Dr. Jenkins on this Zoom call and see if he can fill us in on what Flocabulary is all about. We're excited to learn about it. Go ahead, Dr. Jenkins. You're on mute, Dr. Jenkins.
Dr. Shin, if you don't mind, let me do a share screen. All right, and you guys should see my Nearpod up right now. Is that the case?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So, first of all, a little bit about myself, background. I was probably a hip hop artist before anything else, and I took that love into the classroom as a middle school teacher, high school assistant principal, middle school principal, and then in 2018, I took it to the ed tech world and been really rocking with, I guess, what we call college readiness is where I started, and then moving on into the work with Flocabulary. So 2008, and in 2018, starting my work with Flocabulary. I am still deeply involved in the hip hop community. I actually have a younger son who's label mates with Meg Thee Stallion, Young Thug, and a few other artists, and he just finished a tour with Kid Cudi in Canada and the US that lasted for several months. So needless to say, I get really fired up about hip hop being a part of education. With that said, the platform Flocabulary is a K-12 digital platform that uses hip hop music to teach the core content area and some specialty areas. All that said, the engagement is definitely there. We're talking about the #1 genre music in the world, regardless of language or location. I didn't make that up, Spotify said it. Now, when you're in Nearpod and you're wanting to use Flocabulary, first, let me give you a quick glimpse of what the actual Flocabulary platform looks like. This is the landing page for Flocabulary. You can see here, I have my 4 content areas, specialty area with racial and social justice, SEL content, health and wellness, financial literacy. There's a vocabulary and current events where every Friday we do a hip hop song and video to capture the major news that took place that week. And that happens all throughout the school calendar year. Teachers love that feature. And then what I pointed out earlier, you're able to search by standards. So if you're in Virginia and you're a teacher working with students, you can come to your platform, literally go down and find your state. And once you pick your state, it's going to ask you to pick between health and PE and the 4 core subject areas. Maybe you're a math teacher. You can select math and then grade, K through 12. Let's go 8th grade. When you hit search, it's going to populate with all of the content for Virginia State Standards in math, specifically for 8th grade. And at that point, you can literally scroll, see the standard on the right, how many Flocab videos correlate on the left. I'm going to go ahead and pick this one, scatter plots. And when you click on correlations, it literally gives you those 2 activities. Once you click on it, it's going to then take you to the lesson landing page. Now, just to give you a brief look at how this looks in action, let's say you're an English teacher and you want to teach your students about hyperbole. We're not going to watch the whole video, but just a little something.
My bag weighs a ton. I had to wait in the station for 10 days, an eternity. I'm so hungry, I could eat a horse. Yeah. I know you heard of me. The best figure of speech, hands down, hyperbole. I'm the one that similes yearn to be. I'm brighter than an Ivy University. I'm used universally, well maybe not quite. It might not be true, but it sure sounds nice. John Henry and Paul Bunyan both owe me a little something. Words have a literal meaning when they mean exactly what they say. And words have a figurative meaning when there's something more that they want to convey. That's me. I exaggerate, I make it seem bigger, better, more. I've been known to tell a tall tale or two, just to leave them in stitches like tailors do. Yeah, I pop up in pop-up ads and a couple of supermarket rags. No, the truth never bothered me. I'm hyper speed, hyperbole. Babe, the big blue ox can eat in one day all the feed one crew could tote to camp in a year. That's me. Hyperbole, exaggerate for effect, certainly. Build intensity and urgency, hyperbole. I know you heard of me, not hyperbole, exaggerate for effect, certainly. Build intensity and urgency, hyperbole. I know you heard of me. Now,
All right, I'll stop right there on the chorus. You can see we create these songs so that they flow just like students would hear a song on the radio. If they're surfing on social media, listening to music, it has that same feel. We do work with real hip hop artists who are out there, skilled in the field. They work with some of our curriculum specialists, and they pretty much got a combo set up where they can push this content out on the regular. So right now, we're at about 600 plus videos, and it's steady growing. Outside of the video, some of the cool things you saw, all the videos are captioned. So as the rapper's performing, words are scrolling across the screen. And then there's some embedded features that are really cool. Like there's a immersive reader to read aloud the lyrics. You got these activities off to the left, a vocab card, vocab game, and we don't have time to go into what each one of these actually do, but one example, the vocab game, students love this. They can go in, and based on the instruments you see up top, each one of the dots represent a question. So as you're in this working, as you answer questions correctly, you gain instruments, and the whole idea is that if you answer everything correctly, you build your own instrumental beat, and you hear it in real time. If you miss a question, you fall short an instrument or two, but that's what keeps students coming back. That's the repetition that we know they need when it comes to learning. Now, going to Nearpod, I do want to make it clear that Flocabulary is a separate entity from the Nearpod platform, but Nearpod does have a feature where if you have a Flocab account, you can access the Flocab content and drop it into a lesson, just as Dr. Shin was speaking about earlier. You can do it directly from the platform, or you can do it using the web URL. So a perfect example, if I'm a teacher in Nearpod, this is my personal account. Say I'm creating a lesson, I'm going to go to create the lesson. When it loads, if I wanted to, and it's going to make me log in, if I want to start out with the Flocabulary video, once I hit create the lesson, I can come here, I can go to, for me it would be recents, and there you see it, Flocabulary video. Simply click on it, and once you do that, it's going to literally give you the option to either look up and search for the video you'd like to add. Maybe it's a favorite that's already in queue, but either way, you can come, select it, and it's going to dump it directly into that Nearpod lesson that you're trying to create. Now that's one way of doing it. The other way is simply going back to creating a lesson. I am going to go to web URL, and I'll do a search. Well, it's already ready here in the search. All right, so where it says web content, share URL, I can click on that. And then that's what it's going to do. It's going to open up a URL blank space, at which time I will go back to my Flocabulary lesson, and maybe it's this video on hyperbole. I can go copy and move back and drop the URL right here in my Nearpod lesson and save that. And that is how, well, the second way to bring a Flocab experience into the Nearpod platform. And I'll stop there, Dr. Shin, and stop sharing screen.
Thank you, Dr. Jenkins. That was so much fun. I can't believe, I mean, I can't imagine anyone not being engaged with that kind of material. That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. So I'm going to go back to my Chrome. Let's see if I can share my screen now. Let's see. Go back to Zoom, share, Chrome. All right, excellent. All right, so let's go ahead and play some games and activities, and join with me. Again, if you missed that code, it's EBC57. All right, so here's the time for us to be interactive. And so let's see if we can pull this up. Here we go. So this is called Time to Climb. This is an activity or a game that you can play with your students, and it is very, very engaging. I'm going to go ahead and pick beach. Since we have wintry weather here in Richmond now, I'd like to think about the beach again. And I'm just going to randomize my answers, and then I'm going to pick continue. All right. So this is the way it looks. All right. So I would love for you guys to go ahead and join in. Pick a character. All right. Yay. So you can pick a character. Kids have a lot of fun picking a character in this thing. So let me see here if I can get you up here. Yay. I'm going to just go ahead and play it in the next I'm going to give you about 15 more seconds to sign in. Yay. Destiny, hello. Hey, Dr. Bazemore. Yay. Is that a penguin? I'm not sure what that is. All right, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start the game. All right. And so you can put this up on the board and the students will get options on their screen, and it's going to look differently than my screen. So mine on the board, you'll have this question pulled up and you will pick your answer. Okay. Yay. And you can see that class performance over there. Oh, got next question coming up. I only put in 5 questions for us to do. Okay. 8 divided by 2. So you can easily put this into your math lesson. And you can see the user interface in your screen. All right. Great job, everyone. Uh-oh. Big numbers. Big numbers. So Diamond's doing great. Look at Diamond. She's at first place right now. Oh, she's a leader. And Destiny. Dr. Blackwell's in there, everybody. Oh, yeah. The faster you click, I think the more points you earn as well. Right. And we have our last question. Right. Go ahead and click on your answer. And look at that. Excellent. Excellent job, everybody. All 9 people got this one correct. Woohoo! All right. And it gives you that overall leaderboard. And you know what? Kids love this kind of stuff. Now, because of this, and here's why I'm not someone that's going to let me see if I can stop the music by going past that screen. All right, good. Now, guys, something that I love about Nearpod is that you can get everyone engaged in a game like that. But something that I've learned just from my experiences, don't make it the only review thing that you might do for a test. Because some of the kids who are very competitive and engaged will do well on these things, and usually they will place in the top 5, right? But you don't only have 5 students, you actually have like 20 students, right? Even more. So the bottom 10% of your students will really need more hand holding and probably a little bit more interaction with you than playing this game. Just wanted to put that out there because some teachers would love to just pop this in and let it be a test review. But I think we all got to go that extra mile and really meet with those students who are really struggling beyond this game right here. So I hope Nearpod's not mad at me about saying that. All right, so what is your favorite sport? This is a really cool thing for me to go ahead, and you guys can go ahead and type in your answer on the screen right now. I'm going to say tennis for me. Okay, let's see if I can submit. I guess I can't submit. So I can see from the teacher's point of view, this is a great way to get just open-ended questions going at the very beginning of class. So I've used this, like if I had students listen to a podcast, so I teach a chemistry class. So I had a podcast homework assignment where they were listening to a podcast about oxygen. It's like they run through every single element on the periodic table, and it's a very engaging podcast. I made them listen to it. Well, this is a really quick way to hear like what they got out of it without really putting in a lot of like graded assignment. You just put this this question up there. What did you find interesting from the podcast? And as soon as kids get in, they log into Nearpod, and then they put in their answer, right? So if you put in an answer, you know, you can see from each other like, oh, like this other kid, like John thought this was interesting, and then Faye also thought this was interesting, and so you get to see like kids kind of, you know, finding the similar interests and get the conversation rolling that way. So get the kids engaged that way as well. So that's fun. Classroom result. Let's see. I'm going to move on that. All right. So think of two objects that tell something about who you are. So let's see. Draw or add images of these objects and explain what they tell about you. Share your creation with a partner, then listen to your partner explain the objects that tell something about them. So this is a partner activity, and your screen might look like this, right? And your screen as a teacher, so as a student, this is what it looks like. And as a teacher, this is what it looks like. So you're going to have, you do not have to participate in this right now because drawing is not my strong suit. So I'm not going to put you on that, on the spot like that either. So, but you can see like what other students kind of, you know, draw out there. And it's another great way to get kids, you know, maybe not as verbal. Maybe some of the boys I have aren't really ready to raise their hands and maybe make a fool of themselves in front of other people. Well, maybe they like to draw, so they draw something on the board, and everyone can see it. And it's a great way to get the conversation started. All right, cool. So here we go. I would love for you to tell me, do you think Nearpod can improve engagement in your classroom? So this is like a quiz that you can design, okay? So this is an activity I wrote, do you think Nearpod can improve engagement in your classroom? So you guys can answer yes, no, maybe. But, you know, it could be, what is the atomic number of carbon, right? And then you can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as your answers, and they pick the right answer. So this is a quick way, maybe at the end of your class, to get an idea of how much kids are getting out of your lesson without, you know, making a test, going to the copier, making 50 copies, waiting for the copier to break down, and then you don't have a test to give, right? So you can come back, give out a little Nearpod like this, and it gets them going right away. So here we go. We got some people answering already, and here, you know, you can see you can see on my screen who you know, who chose what, and that's a great way to get a quick look at what kids are understanding and not understanding, and who's not understanding, so we can follow up with them after the game. Okay. All right. So we got student view, teacher view. All right. Next slide. Let's see what we have here. All right. So this is a little corkboard, and you know, please feel free to join in on this one. Which Netflix show did you enjoy the most this summer? So think back to this summer. Okay. I don't know about this summer, but this is something that I've just recently been watching. It's called Blockbuster. And it's about this the owner of the last Blockbuster on Earth, or in the U.S., and it's about little things that happen in his store. It's kind of like it's funny. I think it's kind of funny, and it's like little sweet little love story in there, so I enjoy it. But here's a great way to get kids involved, guys, in another open-ended question, right? So if you're in a math class and you're trying to get an idea of, all right, so here's an open-ended question. Let's get your thoughts on it. All right. Wow, I need to catch up on my Netflix. I don't know these shows. Welcome to the Jungle. That sounds fun. Kids also love sharing their thoughts using GIFs. I don't know if you've ever worked with middle school teenagers. I like to use my GIFs as well. You can just look up GIFs here as well. So let me see. I bet you there's a Netflix thing in here. Yep, there is. So you can even just kind of click on your GIFs that they already have preloaded and then save. I'm slowing down a little bit because I'm on Zoom, but there. So I can put in a little GIF. Daredevil. That's a pretty cool GIF. But yeah, this is another great way to get the kids engaged right away. You know, instead of standing there and talking for 15 minutes about your lesson on composting, well, like you can ask, all right, last night from your dinner, what could you throw in a compost? You know, and then get their answers right away. And boy, you will get GIFs right away. If there's a way, they will use GIFs. That's for sure. All right. So that's a cork board. I love doing that after a podcast, just to get their thoughts on what they thought was most interesting about elements. So here's another kind of quiz setup. Which season is your birthday in? I'm going to go ahead and pick summer for my birthday. And then, oh, sorry, I wanted to show you your teacher view. Again, here's another kind of teacher view on what people answered. And another great way to get an idea of how many kids are struggling and or not. And we can just keep on moving with your test, right? All right. Next slide. What else can you do with it? All right. So the score, this is just wanted to share with you that the classroom result is something that you can share or not share. I just really love this feature on this because sometimes I have students I know need extra time with me. But if they don't need extra time, this is a quick way for me to see, oh, actually he's doing okay. And I think maybe, we can skip our extra session today, or, it's just a great way to get an idea of where they are. So here is some homework for you can do. So you can try it out at your own leisure. Launch Nearpod homepage. Try to put in some sort of slide or some sort of content and add in some activities and try it out with your students, and then if you don't feel comfortable, try it again until you get better at it. And it really is a really neat tool to use. So I'm going to go ahead and let's see if there's one more thing I can share. Oh, okay. So the last thing is student reports can be emailed and even downloaded as a PDF, which is a great tool to use for parent-teacher conferences, just as a little bit of an evidence for student work. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing my Nearpod. All right, here we are again. So I shared some information on Nearpod using Nearpod. So anything you want to do with Nearpod, you got a taste of it today. There's a lot more, but those are the things that I've used through the website. And to be honest, it does engage kids right away. It's like Kahoot or Blookit are these awesome things. Destiny, I see you on the video now, the math queen. So you guys, please feel free to use it, but with one caveat. I think the games are fun and engaging. I worry about it being the only source of review. So I made that point last time. If there are kids struggling and they're going to be struggling, and we know those kids, I would certainly catch up with them and do a little check-in to make sure that they're getting your lesson and not just rely on the games on Nearpod to see if they're ready for a test or quiz or what have you. So that's my little spiel on Nearpod. Let's go. I would love to be a discussion now. If you would, just share what you thought about the lesson I shared with you today, or if you have previous knowledge or experience with Nearpod you'd like to share with your friends here, please do. Let's open up the floor for open discussion.
Dr. Shin, I would just want to say that was fantastic. You and Dr. Jenkins, that was fantastic. I would say you need to make sure you use it as either an introductory tool and or sometimes as an introductory and follow-up tool, right? As opposed to it being the only form of assessment. I think you're absolutely right. Don't fall in love with it. It's very easy to, because it can do so much, but make sure that you're using some of those conventional tools that we're also using so that students, number one, know how to do that beyond your classroom, but also that you use this in an engaging way, either to introduce them to a new concept or to follow up with the concept that you've already taught.
Doc, I see there's a question about the cost of Flocabulary, and just so you guys know, I do work with Nearpod and Flocabulary. We have a team of sales folks that cover the pricing. I can tell you, having been on sales quite some time ago now, that Flocabulary is somewhere in the ballpark of $2,600, and that's a annual subscription. And what it does is, regardless the size of your school, it covers everybody in the building. So if you got a school with 25, 50 teachers in the building, with that annual subscription, every teacher would have access to Flocabulary, meaning they would also be able to create student accounts, and just like with Nearpod, actually track students' performance in the platform.
Dr. Jenkins, though, there are several school divisions in and around Petersburg and Richmond that already are members, right? That all the schools are covered.
As a matter of fact, when I started with Flocabulary in 2018, I probably went into Richmond City Schools 3 times a year working with their teachers. There was always a great turnout, and they are definitely huge fans of Flocabulary. So yes, that's correct, Doc.
David, there's also a question from Dr. Blackwell about does Nearpod give individual responses for each student?
Oh, sorry, I missed that, Dr. Blackwell. Tell me a little bit more about that question. Does Nearpod give individual responses for each student? What do you mean by that? You're on mute, Dr. Blackwell.
Dr. Blackwell, you're still on mute.
That's okay. I'm wondering if it's
There
he is.
Yep.
Dr. Blackwell?
Maybe not. No.
Yeah. So I wonder if you mean like if could it be a message that's specifically for the individual student? And you know, I think I have never used it that way. So it's definitely for the entire group to participate with multiple choice. Now, the way that you would give your individual response would be to use corkboard, something that, you know, like an open-ended question like that, you would be able to see individual answers that way. But to receive individual feedback, I don't think I've ever tried it that way. So you either get something right or you get something wrong, and that's really the only feedback you'll get, other than seeing your friends' answers.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, yeah, because I'm telling my students all the time, if you use something like that, you want to try to get individual responses for, you know, how the student did, so you can evaluate them instead of doing, everybody likes to do, I forget the other product, I can't think of it right now, but it gives you a group response. It doesn't give you how each individual student.
Oh, I see. Right.
Did
I
not
wanted to make
show,
sure that, but you did show it on your screen,
Yep.
so it does give you the individual
Yes,
response.
that's true. Like you could see what Dr. Jenkins answered the entire time. Yes, you
Right.
can do that.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, Ms. Harris said that she uses it both at her school um and that's in Petersburg. So that's
Yes,
awesome.
she uses both Flocabulary and I think Nearpod.
Yes, we do. But I want to thank Dr. Jenkins because I'm at Lakemont Elementary in Petersburg, and we're big on Nearpod. We do almost everything with Nearpod, but I don't know why they don't really utilize vocabulary. But when I go to school tomorrow, I'm gonna definitely let them know, like, because I love your presentation. And actually, what you showed, the little rap video, that's what we're working on now. So it's like, I feel like that would be perfect for them. Like, so I'm definitely going to school tomorrow. Like, y'all need to utilize vocabulary more because I loved it.
And who's speaking right now?
Tiana Harris.
Well, Ms. Harris, first of all, thank you. And I got to be honest, in my work traveling around the country, it's hip hop music, and we all know that that does come with this stigma. A part of what I do is I talk with educators about the fact that it's how you apply it, and anything, right, can be made to be a negative, but
Right.
hip hop has played a positive role in my life. It's done a whole lot for my son right now. He's making more money than his mom and dad together and enjoying life. So I got no complaints about the music, the culture, and I know that's the hesitation with some school districts, but when they're able to see it at work, and especially when you see kids engage with it, it changes everybody's opinion. So that said, I'm going to drop my email in the chat along with my social media. Hit me up if we got to send somebody out there to meet with some folks.
Because I was like, we really don't. Nearpod, they love Nearpod. But like you guys were saying, with Nearpod, the kids are trying to race each other. We be having to tell them to slow down. Like, we rather you get the answer right than trying to race each other and get it wrong. So thank you.
Thank you.
But especially with the reading scores, what they are in the state right now, so much could be improved on if we just use some of the tools that some of our school divisions have paid for a little bit more efficiently, right? And so I'm glad you said that, Kiana. I think you're absolutely right that it can get across to your students some things that teachers it's more difficult for teachers to get across to them. You're talking about some difficult vocabulary, or at least I say difficult in that who wants to memorize all of those different terms? But if you put it with a nice little jingle, a nice little beat, guess what? I might remember exactly what some of those terms are referring to, and or what the definition is. So I'm glad you said that. And that's the whole reason why we're doing this, is because there are so many tools out there that can make our jobs easier. We just don't typically use them as well as we probably should. And so I hope you all take that from this presentation and lean on the two experts we have just at our disposal, just a email away. And then Dr. Shin just right down the street. Whereas if we need him to do a demonstration, we can. And Dr. Jenkins is a good friend and owes us a visit anyway.
Yes, indeed.
Right. So he can also come back up and share with you all as well.
And do you guys mind if I share your email with my colleagues and at school?
Absolutely not. We're all learning here.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I want to say, Dr. Walter. You know, we're as teachers, we should always be kind of in the seat of learning, you know. So if there are mistakes to be made, that is great. It's all part of learning. So please don't feel like, you know, I think that's something that we should reiterate. Like I'm if there's things that we can do to improve engagement with our students, even if we're a little scared, we should take that chance and go ahead and jump. Even if we make some mistakes, that's all right.
All right, well, Dr. Shin, I would like to close us out on what could be a high note. Maybe it'll be a low one, but I gave all this ranting about being an MC and all this stuff. This is how I'm gonna close us out. So if you are on cam, feel free to like put something close to the screen. If you're typing, feel free to type how you feeling right now. If it's your birthday, say it's your birthday. I'm gonna throw a beat in the background and sign us off with something I think I do pretty well, which is a freestyle. All right. Let me get my music on. Bass up on lace. Like, oh, wait for me. I gotta get it through on my Bluetooth. Sorry about that. It's coming. Here we go. All right, there we go. A 1 2 y'all. 1 2 y'all. Check it out. Hey yo, first of all, somebody's feeling humble. I'm not Flash Gordon, I'm not Ming from Mungo. Plus I see you're feeling great tonight. I'm kinda really cool when I grab the mic. Thanks for the lesson, thanks for the blessing. We all are the bomb, y'all, that's no question. Came here tonight for VSU with the freestyle rap, and for all I do, I see the chat box is quiet now. You know your boy Fire, it's a riot now. I freestyle rap and I can tie it down. Yeah, go ahead, Bazemore, try that now. Y'all, thanks to the presenters, I'm cold like winter. I freestyle rap, I eat a rapper for dinner. You know that I'm a winner, beginning to end. I wanna say, hey, what up, Diamond? I'm steady rhyming and climbing the charts. I mastered the arts, I'm playing my part. And you can ask John Blackwell, your boy got flow. And if you don't know, you know where you can go. Mexico, Canada, I'm body slamming ya. Grab a microphone, take a picture like a camera. Spectacular, they call me a friend. And I'm in the house tonight with Dr. Shin. Can't forget Dean Walters, it's not my fault. When I get on Disney Plus like I'm the She-Hulk. One of the best lessons that you ever attended. Go ahead, y'all, I think most rappers surrendered. Knowing that your boy was hot. Grab a microphone, gave it all I got. It's spectacular, and I'm always charting. Yo, Blackwell in the background, I see Spartans. All right, y'all, that's how we signing off.
That was awesome. Thank
Can't
you.
wait to see you guys again, man. Appreciate it.